One of the things that can pay off most in life is having good social skills, and also one of the things that can give you the greatest return in life. I want to discuss some important influence tools, how to solve problems, how to handle situations with multiple people. I want to discuss a couple of social skills that will help you solve problems in your business, at work, in job interviews, with your boss, with clients, with employees, with everything, in every situation. But before I go on, I would like to quickly introduce myself. My name is Alex Panucci. I'm 29 years old, and I've been a construction worker for over 10 years. And I've been doing side hustles throughout that entire time to supplement my income. I was consuming cannabis and drinking alcohol every day. This whole time I've been resorting to addictions, and I've never had a good habits. I would wake up late, I would resort to things that were pointless, and basically I was only looking for money while not trying to be my own best version. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't have confidence in myself, which has all completely changed. Now I go to the gym every day and I am a very confident person. Since I didn't go to the gym and all I was focusing on was on the business aspect, I never had money and I didn't feel good because the only thing I went after was money. It was the worst thing that could happen to me. So I want to talk about the social skills you need, the laws of influence that you need to apply more than anything, because this will help you in all areas. So my first point is you need to give without asking for anything in return, but knowing that you will receive something back. And what I mean by this is when I say giving is doing a favor for someone, being generous. Imagine a person or a friend who you haven't seen in a while and you give them a gift, something they will appreciate and is of value to them. They take it and that person will feel like they owe you something because you just did something thoughtful for them without asking anything in return. And they didn't expect that. When you do something unexpected like that, you can do it with a friend, a family member, or even your boss, with anyone. Do a good gesture toward a person, and without them asking and without them expecting it, that person will feel like they owe you something. If anyone has ever done a favor for you, you will feel like you owe them something. So apply this principle because you'll gain a lot of influence over people. You give someone a little detail, you say a few kind words to someone, that person will feel like they owe you something. I'm not saying you should do this all the time so you can constantly receive things, because then you will enter a state of selfishness and you won't receive absolutely nothing. So when I say this, it's because if you apply this and give to people without receiving, you give in the best way and with the best reason. A person will feel indebted to you. For example, you take a gift to your boss and say, look, I'm really enjoying my job. I feel really great here. And I wanted to give you this little something. Now, when that boss has to yell at you for something you did wrong, you want to say or wants to say something mean, that boss will feel like they owe you something and take it easy on you for that gesture you made. So if you use this principle to your advantage, which is to give knowing that at some point you will receive, but don't expect it. The universe decides and gives it to you. So this principle is super important, and always keep it in mind. The small details, the gifts, the kind words, all of this with the best intentions, with your heart. giving to the world, truly being honest, you'll see how you receive. If you apply this, you will be amazed. Now, the second thing I would like to talk about is the principle of contrast, which is taking the weight off things. It's all about how people evaluate things. You rarely look at something on its own, and instead we compare it to something else. If you're doing something and you make a mistake or screw up, someone will probably tell you off and you stay silent and hide it. Not many times you make a mistake and we don't want to say anything because we're ashamed of what someone will say to us. But if you're honest and upfront and you're clear and say, look, it turns out that this just happened to me. I didn't do it on purpose. You can take the measures you want, but I truly apologize and hope there is something you could do to help me out. Imagine you're parked in a no parking zone and a police officer comes to give you a ticket. And instead of freaking out and saying, no, I'm leaving now, you say, officer, I'm leaving immediately. I was only here for 2 minutes. I don't know if anything can be done. I don't want to be giving you excuses. If you have to give me a ticket, I understand. I deserve a fine. You're just doing your job. If there is any way you could give me a warning, or if we could leave it for next time, if you talk to the officer this way, he will feel like you're exaggerating the situation to another level. He will take the weight off you and say, you know what? Don't worry about it. Just be careful next time. If you see him writing you a ticket and you go up to him yelling with an angry tone and say, hey man, I was only here for 2 minutes, you're already giving me a ticket, then he will definitely give you a ticket because you're breaking character. But if you come to him with good words and respect and apply the contrast principle, most likely he won't fine you because you're speaking with good words, you're putting out love, you're giving a good intention. Don't aggravate the situation. Find the solution in the best way possible. There's a higher chance of that you come out winning. All conversations, there's an alpha and a beta. If you're a beta, you need to know why. Because you're not always going to be alpha. For example, if you're at work, your boss is the alpha and you're the beta. But while you're wearing a beta costume, you can learn how to be an alpha. In a bad situation, you can act like an alpha knowing you're a beta. Because they're coming out to you with some bad words, and in return, you come back with good words and you talk with respect. Your boss will feel bad because you're talking good to him, and that's happening because you are being the alpha in that conversation. You're dominating. That's a very important principle as well. Always try to be the alpha, even if you have the beta costume on. Another principle that is very important is that people don't care about your problems. They only care about finding a solution to their problems. They don't care about what story you have to tell to them. When you're talking to someone and you want them to be interested or you want to impress them, you have to talk about the subject that they're interested in. Because once there is a connection between two people, you apply the principle of similarity. That means that people tend to interact more knowing that the solutions that they provide together turn out well. So if you want to close a business or close a new client, try to find the principle of similarity. Talk about what your client is interested in. If they talk about basketball, you talk about basketball. If they talk about houses, you talk about houses. If they talk about cars, you talk about cars. That's very important. Another thing that you should do is say people's names. That makes them feel special. When you talk to someone and say their name, directing yourself to them with a good posture, looking at them in the eyes. When you don't look at someone in the eyes, you're assuming that beta position. And when you're a beta, you don't dominate the situation. Always assume eye contact when you're having a conversation with someone. And saying their name individualizes them more. Also, remembering people's names, it's very important. When the time comes to communicate or to close a sale, or if you're a boss and you have employees and you call them by their name, when you send a message to someone, instead of saying, hey bro, or listen, you call them by their name. It's a visual impact. Be direct with people. Words project, and your posture also projects. You have more respect for someone when they do that. When I talk to one of my mentors, I come directly. I speak strongly and clear, so there's no doubts. And he doesn't say, hey, oh, I didn't understand you. Could you please repeat that? I try to be clear and direct so they see me with self-confidence. And it all starts by changing your physique. Everything I've said, if you don't have a good body and you're proud, first you need to start applying the subject of changing your physique. And from then on, you can apply everything I've said today. These are key principles to be able to dominate any conversation. If you made it to this point in the video, it's because you liked it and you enjoyed it. If you're interested, go to my Instagram, AlexPanucci96. Follow me. Check out my stories. I give you the example every day. Everything I'm saying, I project it. You see it in my day-to-day. If you have any doubts, send me a DM for free help. If you want to take the next step, I will help you drop all your bad habits and gain the discipline to be the man or a woman of the 1%. Please give this video a like or a sub so more people can see this message, because I think it's something very important that's missing in society. Having a character and being able to communicate.